Good morning student, welcome here in this YouTube channel. English subject, second semester, the first unit of the second semester means it is unit number 5, but the first unit of this second semester. Well, that exam was over and you all have done very good. You just followed that 3 paragraphs method, and for that I am very happy. This unit number 5, the name of the unit number 5 is the snake and the mirror. Well, this unit is very interesting. You will find fun, you will find surprise in this unit. Means in a way this is a full entertainment package for you. This unit is that package of entertainment for you. Let's start this unit and for that you must keep a textbook with you. So please keep a textbook with you and go through the page number. It's on page number 56. Unit number 5, Snake and the Mirror. The story is about a snake, a narrator and a mirror. It is a true story. So somewhere we find that narrator is a little bit funny, narrator is afraid here also, and narrator is surprised too. So let's start this story. Before we go to the story, we have that before you read session. So let's start that. The story has been narrated in 12 paragraphs. We'll try to cover most of the paragraphs in this video. Okay, before you read, do you like to look at yourself in the mirror? Of course, means who don't like to see themselves into the mirror? Means mirror, we can say mirror is the only friend who just tells us the truth. So the answer for this is yes. What do you think about such times? Have you ever seen a dog, a cat or a bird look into a mirror? What do you think it sees? Well, have you ever seen any dog? Have you ever seen any bird or any cat look into the mirror? Rarely this kind of scene can be seen rarely. So if you have seen that, then you must have observed the expression and all. Now read this humorous story about a doctor, a snake and a mirror. So this story just goes round of 3 things. One thing is doctor, second thing is snake, and third thing is mirror. So this way we will have this humorous story. Paragraph number 1. Has a snake ever coiled itself round any part of your body? So here narrator is asking question to us. Means he is asking that is there any episode in your life? Is there any event in your life where you just find the snake coiling around yourself? Well, not. If I talk about my life, though I don't have any experience, any such experience where the snake just has coiled around myself. Here we have one word, that is coiled. Coiled means encircle. So you can write these new words with you. To encircle. So here narrator is asking that, and and he is telling that a full-blooded cobra. So have you ever any kind of experience where you just find cobra snake coiling around yourself? All of us fell silent. Means narrator is telling this thing and all the people around him fell silent. The question came from the homeopath. The topic came when we were discussing snakes. So narrator was discussing about snake with his colleagues, and at that time this topic came out. Means the topic of snake came out, and narrator is a homeopathy doctor here. We listened attentively as the doctor continued with his tale. Tell means a story. So everybody was so keen to listen doctor's story. So here narrator is telling a story. Okay, so here we have these two words, coiled and tell. Okay, now it's time to go for another paragraph. The second paragraph of first. Second paragraph of the first. So here narrator is talking about his one of the experience, and all the colleagues of him is just interested in his talk. It was a hot summer night about 10 o'clock. I had my meal at the restaurant and returned to my room. So narrator was telling, means now he just started the story, and he told that it was a time of summer and he just took his dinner and he just came back to his home. I heard a noise from above as I opened the door. So he just, as soon as he just opened the door, he heard something. Means he heard the noise of something. The sound was familiar one, and that sound was not a strange one. He just could understand, or he could just know that what exactly the sound was. So that sound was just familiar to him. One could say that the rats and I shared the room. So it was the sound of rats, because narrator was living there since a long time, for a long time. So he was familiar with that sound, and that sound was rat sound. I took out my box of matches and lighted the kerosene lamp on the table. So it was earlier time. So narrator telling that he just took out the matchbox and he just lighted the kerosene lamp on the table. Second paragraph. The house was not electrified, means there was no electricity in the house. It was a small rented room. That house was not narrator's own house. He was living there on rent. So it was rented house. I had just set up medical practice and my earnings were meagre. And he was just doing his medical practice there, and he didn't get a good salary in return. So he couldn't afford a bungalow, or he couldn't afford a rich house. That's why he was just living there in a small room. So here we have one word, that is meagre, means small in quantity. I had about 60 rupees in my suitcase. So there was a suitcase with narrator, and in that suitcase there was 60 rupees. Along with some shirts and dhotis, I also possessed one solitary black coat which I was then wearing. So there was 60 rupees in the bag, and along with that there was one shirt and some dhotis. Means narrator used to wear dhotis. And apart from this, I also possessed one solitary black coat, and one solitary means alone, a single, you can say. So single black coat was there, and that he was just wearing at that time. Paragraph number 3. I took off my black coat, white shirt, not so white vest, and hung them up. So he was just now trying to freshen up himself. So he just took out his shirt and black coat. I opened the two windows in the room. It was an outer room with the wall facing the open yard. It had a tiled roof with long supporting gables that rested on the beam over the wall. See, gable, the word gable has been described here very well. Here picture has also been given. Gable means upper part of a wall below a sloping roof. So that was not a big house, it was rented house. So narrator opened the window, and it had a tiled roof with long supporting gables. There was a gable, and that room was tiled, that rested on the beam over the wall. So gable word means upper part of a wall below a sloping roof. There was no ceiling, there was a regular traffic of rats to and fro the beam. So there was a beam, there was no ceiling. So rats were coming and going. To and fro means coming and going. I made my bed and pulled it close to the wall. I lay down but I could not sleep. I got up and went out to the veranda for a little air, but the wind god seemed to have taken time off. So narrator was trying to just rest, and he just was there. He just lay down in the bed, and he just tried to sleep, but he could not sleep. So he just got up and he went to the veranda and he wanted some fresh air, but at that time fresh air was not there. I went back into the room and sat down on the chair. I opened the box beneath the table and took out a book, a Materia Medica. So there was no air. So he was disturbed, he was restless, so he couldn't even sleep. So he just thought that he thought to read a book. So he just took out a book. The name of the book was Materia Medica. I opened it at the table on which stood the lamp and a large mirror. A small comb lay beside the mirror. Well, now he was sitting near the table, and there was one lamp and one large mirror, and he just sat in such a way that he could see himself into the mirror directly. A small comb lay beside the mirror, and there was a small comb and that lay beside the mirror. One feels tempted to look into a mirror when it is near one. So it is general truth. When we have mirror near to us, so we surely see ourselves into the mirror. So it is the fact that when we have mirror near us, we can't control ourselves to see ourselves into mirror. I took a look. In those days, I was a great admirer of beauty, and I believed in making myself look handsome. So here the same thing happened. Narrator just saw himself into the mirror. He just wanted to check that everything was okay or not. So he just looked into the mirror and he admired himself. Means he praised himself. He just thought that he was so handsome. And here he is telling that he was the admirer of beauty. Means he liked to look beautiful or handsome. I believed in making myself look handsome, and he believed also that he believed that a person should look beautiful, and it is his personal belief that he believed that he is handsome and he should be more handsome. That is his belief. I was unmarried and I was a doctor. He was not married person, and he was a doctor, homeopathy. I felt I had to make my presence felt. So he just believed that his presence should be felt. Means everybody should notice his presence that he personally believed. I picked up the comb and ran it through my hair and adjusted the parting so that it looked straight and neat. So it was night time, midnight time, and narrator was going to read the book, and in that he just started combing his hair. So in this way we can understand that how the narrator was admirer of beauty. Again I heard that sound from above. So again that sound was heard. The first time that sound was heard when he just opened the door. At that time he thought that it was rat sound. And now second time that sound was heard. Paragraph number 5. I took a close look at my face in the mirror. I made an important decision. So as soon as he just saw into the mirror, he just made some decisions. I would shave daily and grow a thin mustache to look more handsome. So he just made one decision at that time when he just saw himself into the mirror, and the decision was he would shave daily and he just grow a thin mustache. That is the decision. I was after all a bachelor, a doctor. Again and again he was telling this thing to himself, that after all he was unmarried man, after all he was a doctor. I looked into the mirror and smiled. It was an attractive smile. See, no one was there to appreciate his smile. So narrator means this doctor himself was appreciating his smile. So he just smiled while he just saw himself into the mirror, and he smiled and he just appreciated the smile, means he just liked his smile. I made another earth-shaking decision. Another decision he just made after that. After seeing himself into the mirror smiling face of him, he just made another decision. I would always keep an attractive smile on my face. That was the third decision he is making, that he would always keep an attractive smile on the face to look more handsome. And he believed that if he keeps smiling like this, he would look more handsome. I was after all a bachelor, a doctor too on top of it. Again and again he is telling to himself, after all he is handsome, after all he is unmarried, after all he is a doctor. Again came that noise from above, and again that noise came. Means see, first time that noise came when he was opening the door, second time when he was looking himself into the mirror, and third time when he was taking those decisions. At that time that noise had been heard. I got up, paced up down the room, then another lovely thought struck me. So when he just heard that noise, he got up and he just paced up and down. Pace up and down means walk up and down. Then another lovely thought struck me, and at that time he just got another lovely thought. I would marry. So he just thought to marry. I would get married a woman doctor who had plenty of money and good medical practice. So that was his condition. He wanted to marry a woman who had plenty of money and who had plenty of experience of medical. She had to be fat for a valid reason. And another thing he wanted in his would-be wife is that a lady should be fat for a valid reason, and he had a reason for that even. If I made some silly mistake and needed to run away, she would not be able to run after me and catch me. This looks silly here. So, see, he is telling that his would-be future wife should be fat lady, because when if he just made some mistake, so his wife should not be able to run after him. With such thoughts in my mind, I resumed my seat in the chair in front of the table. So these things were going on in his mind, and he just sat down in the chair and decided to read that book again. There were no more sound from above. Now that sound was not there from above. Suddenly there came a dull thud, as if a rubber tube had fallen to the ground. Surely nothing to worry about. So see, sound was not there from above, but suddenly there came a dull thud. Thud means sound of dull. It It's like something has fallen from above part, like a rubber tube, and the narrator himself knew that there was nothing to worry about. Now we are on page number 58. Even so, I thought I would turn around and take a look. No sooner had I turned than a fat snake wriggled over the back of the chair and landed on my shoulder. So, as soon as narrator just turned to check what the problem actually was, there was a big snake, and the snake wriggled over the back of the chair and landed on my shoulder. Means snake was there on narrator's shoulder. The snake's landing on me and my turning were simultaneously. As soon as narrator was just going to turn himself to check whether everything was okay or not, at the same time that snake came on narrator's shoulder. So this both thing happened simultaneously, means at a time. Paragraph number 7. I didn't jump. Now it was the situation that narrator couldn't even move. I didn't tremble. I didn't cry out. Nothing happened. Means narrator didn't jump, he didn't tremble, he didn't cry out. Tremble means shivered. There was no time to do any such things. If narrator would do that kind of thing, that snake would have bitten him. The snake slithered along my shoulder and coiled around my left arm above the elbow. The hood was spread out and its head was hardly 3 or 4 inches from my face. So the snake slithered along. Slither means moving smoothly. So snake was moved smoothly along his shoulder and the snake coiled around his left arm above the elbow. The hood was spread out and its head was hardly 3 or 4 inches from my space. That snake was just spread, means his body was spread out and its head was hardly 3 or 4 inches from my face. It would not be correct to say merely that I sat there holding my breath. Narrator was like a statue. He didn't even move. He didn't even just do anything. It was like he was holding his breath. I was turned to stone. Means it was like he became stone there. But my mind was very active. The door opened into darkness. The room was surrounded by darkness. In the light of the lamp, I sat there like a stone image in a flash. Flash, you know. Means there was no one in the room. The room was full of darkness. And narrator was standing there with snake on his shoulder. He was standing there like a stone. Like a stone in a flesh. Means he was like a statue there. Means narrator didn't even move. So this is the completion of 7 paragraph. You have some time to note down these new words. After that we'll go to paragraph number 8. Please note down these things. Okay students, so this is for today's video. Now it's time to give you homework, and as you know that you have to do these new words in your homework. So please write down your homework that you have to write these new words. Now you know that this kind of new words can be asked in MCQ and in objective too. Okay, so these new words you have to write in your homework. We'll meet again from paragraph number 8, and in next video we'll see what happened after that. Whether that snake bitten narrator or narrator saved himself from the snake, that will be discussed in next video. So be connected, the story will be very much interesting. Please take care and bye.